I'm Josh Altic from Ballotpedia, here with all of your direct democracy information. This is the second part of a series on veto referendums. The first part explained what a veto referendum is and how many states have a process for that kind of measure. As a quick reminder, a veto referendum is a citizen-initiated measure asking voters to repeal a law recently passed by the state legislature. Today, we're going to dive into an analysis of all of the veto referendum measures at the statewide level in the history of the US. Since the first veto referendum in 1906, there have been 521 veto referendum measures at the statewide level, decided by voters. And when I started doing this research, the burning question on my mind was, how many times did voters side with their representative state legislatures, and how many times did they side against their legislature and in favor of the petitioners? So in the 521 measures that have been on the ballot, 340 of them have resulted in voters repealing the law targeted for repeal by the petition. That left 181 cases where voters sided with their representative legislators and upheld the law put on the ballot through the veto referendum petition. That's a 65.3% repeal rate for these veto referendums across history. I was also curious about how many veto referendums were on the ballot in which states, and which states had the most. So like with ballot initiatives, which are the more common type of citizen-initiated measure proposing a new law, there are certain states that have a really active veto referendum process, and certain states where that type of measure is very seldomly used. So in North Dakota, California, and Oregon, those are the three states with the most veto referendums in their history. In North Dakota, there were 75. In Oregon, there were 68. And in California, there were 48. The three states with the least veto referendums were Wyoming, Nevada, and New Mexico, which each had 1, 2, and 3, respectively. The most common topic for this type of ballot measure is taxation. There have been 84 statewide measures put on the ballot through a veto referendum petition since 1906 concerning taxation. It was interesting to me to see that the rate of repeal by voters for these taxation-related measures was slightly higher than the rate overall, with 62 of the 84 measures being repealed and 22 being upheld. There's one state where every single veto referendum measure resulted in voters repealing the targeted legislation. That state is Utah. And although there have only been 4 veto referendum measures in the history of Utah, I thought that was interesting, that in every other state, all the other 23 states with veto referendums, there's been at least once where voters have sided with their state legislatures. Stay tuned for part 3 of this video series in the description below to look at some of the really interesting recent and upcoming veto referendum measures, and review part 1 of this series if you want to learn more about the details of the veto referendum process and what a veto referendum is. Thanks for watching, and as always, send comments, questions, or future video requests to editor@ballotpedia.org. Bye.